tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they pierced him in the side? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the sun refused to shine?
Let me ask you something. What's giving you hope to go back out into the world and live the rest of your life? And before you say the vaccine, I want to suggest that you need more than vaccination. You need resurrection. Now, it's hard even for me to say that these days, because most people, when you say the word resurrection, they think, what is he talking about? Because for most people, what they've been told resurrection is, it sounds a lot more like resuscitation, like somebody gives a CPR and the person gets up and starts walking around again. But resurrection is not resuscitation. In fact, resurrection is essentially a spiritual thing. So I want to talk about spirituality for a moment. And even that word, for many people, it makes them think that I'm talking about, putting crystals on my chakras or something like that, which I have to admit does sound exhilarating, but it is not what I'm talking about this morning. When I say resurrection is a spiritual thing, I mean that the people who followed Jesus, his disciples, remember, they had just watched their beloved leader and friend be tortured and crucified. Their whole world had been turned upside down. Everything they expected to happen didn't happen. And their dreams were shattered. They were leaderless, they were aimless, they were broken, and they were afraid. And they lost their religion. Have you ever been broken, aimless, afraid, your dreams shattered, your hope evaporated, or lost your religion? I don't think I'm the only one. In fact, A year ago, none of us expected we would be doing what we're doing right now. Our lives have literally been turned upside down over the past year. Over 500,000 Americans have died of something we'd never even heard of a year ago. Many have lost jobs. Some have lost homes. Some have become addicted. So maybe this year, more than any other year, we can relate to what the disciples were experiencing. What happened to them at Easter? We have 4 Gospels, 4 accounts. Each one says something different. So we don't know exactly what happened. But what we do know is that on Easter, things changed. The disciples knew that they, like us, needed to go back into the world soon and live the rest of their lives with a purpose. Most of them had gone home. They were sheltering in place in Galilee. But Easter marked their transition back into the world. And ours is coming. With the vaccine and everything else that's happening, we're going to go back into the world to live our lives again. And the question is, have we experienced resurrection? Well, let's see. We have all the requirements. Before the resurrection, the disciples felt afraid. Before resurrection, the world was full of injustice, inequality, corruption, division, violence, disease. Do we have these? Let's see. Injustice, check. Inequality, check. Corruption, check. Division, check. Violence, check. Disease, check. We've got them all. So there's a lot of reason to be afraid to go into the world. Not just the virus, but the violence and the inequality and the injustice. We don't have a vaccine against those. So vaccination is not enough to allow us to go back out into the world and be safe. What kind of world are we returning to? We have most of the same problems as they had back then. Plus, we have some of our own. We've got automatic rifles. We've got nuclear weapons. We've got technology that is moving at a pace that is faster than any of us can really keep up, that has the threat of dehumanizing us and our children. So let me ask again, on this Easter, what's giving you hope to go back out and live the rest of your life? Friends, we're in need of resurrection, as much as the disciples were, maybe even more so. On Easter, they saw something, or heard something, or felt something that called them to be apostles of love in a broken world. What would you need to see, to hear, to feel that would allow you to go back into the world knowing that you are called to be an apostle of love at whatever cost there might be? What would you need to see, feel, or hear to know that you are called to be an apostle of love in this broken world? Were you there when it all happened? When they stormed the Capitol? Were you there? When they kneeled upon his neck? Were you there? Were you there when they pierced the Asian American women in the side? Were you there when they locked them in a cage? Were you there when they took him off the ventilator? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, yeah. It causes us to tremble, tremble, tremble. You were there. We were all there. Friends, we are preparing to go back out into the world, not exactly the one we want, certainly not the one we dream about, but it's the one we have. And we either go out afraid or we experience resurrection. On Easter Sunday, the disciples came to know without any doubt that their life matters. That they are not meant to cower or to fold or to bend to the powers that be. That despite hate, they are called to love. They were convinced that they were called not to the world as it is, but to be agents of change through love to make the world anew. Through love, which means working for justice with a heart of mercy. Working for justice with a heart of mercy. And quite frankly, I don't care what happened specifically 2,000 years ago. I care that on this Easter Sunday, despite all that has happened and all that is happening, that you realize at the core of your being that you too are called to be an apostle of love and that your life matters. It matters. And that you are called to be an agent of change to help to build the world anew. You are not alone. You are part of an ancient movement for goodness in the world. You are a giver of light. The world needs you to be all that you can be. And we may tremble. We will tremble. And we may fall. We will fall. But we will leave a legacy of love before we die. Remember that the light that shined through Jesus shines through you. And today, it rises again. Amen. Thank you for joining us. For 100 years, All Souls in Tulsa has been a beacon of this free faith. We offer our services and programs freely online for all those who are interested. You can help us to do this by making a one-time gift today or a reoccurring pledge. We really appreciate you joining us and being a part of helping us make All Souls in Tulsa what it is. Thank you.
Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? tremble, tremble.